Today on Tamron Hall, we're talking endfolds, those moments when life forces an ending and meaning is born. Speaking for the first time after a bitter divorce involving millions of dollars, entrepreneur and designer Julia Haart is finally telling her side of the story.
It sends the message that women can win, that truth matters, that justice matters.
And shares what starting over looks like for her.
No man will destroy me. No man will ever make me feel small again, and that is what I have learned.
Plus, the doctor who coined the term endfold helps us reframe life's hardest moments and turn them into meaningful lessons.
The way something ends disproportionately shapes our perspective about the whole event as well as our quality of life thereafter.
And the man who turned his Parkinson's diagnosis into determination, competing on American Ninja Warrior 7 times.
You're a superhero over here.
Tamron Hall starts now.
I give you everything I am. You give it back to me and more. We're gonna make our dreams come true and live a good life, good life, good life.
Today's a big conversation, but I want to start off by saying one thing. Hello, Tamron! Welcome, thank you for joining wherever you are. Have a sit down, have a sit down, have a sit. I'm telling you, this is one of those sit back and relax conversations, because today I want to start with a question. Have you ever had a moment where something ended and it felt devastating? A relationship, a job, a dream you thought was your forever. Yes. And when it ended, you thought, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. Yes. But then time passed and you changed. You grew stronger, clearer, more you. And one day you realized that ending did not break you, it shaped you. Yes. You have experienced what they call an endfold. An endfold is an ending that is full of meaning. I love that, thank you. I love that too. I didn't coin the phrase, but the person who did will join us. The idea that some of life's hardest goodbyes are actually turning points to a new beginning. And that brings us to our first guest. Entrepreneur and author Julia Haart lived through one of the most talked about divorces of the last few years, a very public breakup that played out not just in the courtroom, but across headlines, tabloids, social media feeds. It was a marriage that mixed love, money, power, and control. And when it ended, it exploded. In a single day, she lost her husband, her job, and access to her money. And suddenly, the woman who helped build a billion-dollar fashion empire was locked out of her own life. What followed was years of lawsuits, restraining order filings, explosive allegations, and brutal legal fight over who really owned the company she helped grow. The story was everywhere, Rolling Stone to Page 6, and at times it felt like the entire world was watching her fall. But she did not disappear. She fought back in court, she fought back in the press, and she fought back to reclaim her voice and her future. And now for the first time since her divorce was finalized, Julia is ready to talk about what that fight was really like, what it cost her, and how it was her endfold. Please welcome in a daytime exclusive entrepreneur, designer, CEO, and best-selling author, Julia Haart. Hello.
I love your hair.
Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
I have watched this journey. Obviously, fans know you from my Unorthodox Life over the. How many years did you do that show now?
2 years, two seasons so far.
2 seasons so far, and people followed you leaving your first marriage, leaving the ultra-Orthodox community you were raised in, and really rebooting your life.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about it, your book and all of these things, and then you thought, as I told the audience, you had a reset. I met the love of my life, and this is going to be life-changing. What was your, take me to that moment when you got married the second time and how you thought it would be so different.
Well, it's so funny that My plan was never to get remarried.
Oh, really?
No. I was like, okay, been there, done that, kind of felt like prison. I'm just good with love. I want someone to choose me every morning. But I kind of got convinced into it. And the first...
How do you get convinced in? Because, I mean, you grew up, as I said, with the Unorthodox Life in the show, and we've watched it. You are a traditional, despite the come marry me again shorts that you got on today, despite the new you, new look, you grew up, how would you describe that life?
Well, you know, that's what I think, as you notice my clothing. I will always wear the shortest shorts and the lowest cut tops because to me that's freedom.
Yeah.
Because in my old community I was covered head to toe. My body wasn't my own. And so everything that I've done has been to kind of gain freedom for myself, and then it was gain freedom for my kids, and then it was gain freedom for women so that they can be financially independent, so they don't have to ask permission, so that they can stand on their own 2 feet and make their own decisions. So that's what my life has been about.
That's what your life has been about. So you found yourself free of a lot of the things that you grew up in this environment with, and then you decide, I want to get married, despite, I know people say convinced, but you have to agree.
You know what, it's so funny that you say that because, and I don't know, I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this, very often when we leave a difficult situation or a way of life, we may physically leave, but our mind, what we've been taught, and you know, the ideals and ideas that we have been ingrained with, they're still there.
The last time you were here, you were in the middle of the divorce from your now ex-husband, Silvio.
He's not my now ex-husband. I'm still married to him.
The divorce is not final?
The divorce is not final. I am still married to this man.
Okay, well, let me get some understanding on this because you were married 2 years. You've been in a 3-year divorce.
4-year divorce.
4-year. That's double the time.
And by the way, even though we were together, quote unquote, for 2 years, I asked for a divorce 9 months in. He wouldn't let my kids come to the house.
So let me rewind. 9 months into the marriage to Silvio,
I asked for a divorce.
You asked for a divorce.
Yes.
And now this has gone on for 4 years.
4 years.
Because my understanding is that the divorce was finalized. That's what all the headlines were claiming.
Well, here's what happened. We were able to show, basically, I don't know if you recall, at the beginning of this, I got blamed. I was called a con artist, a thief, a blah, blah, blah.
Oh, I have a list of the allegations that were thrown around.
Basically, if you read the allegations, I got accused of everything but witchcraft.
Right,
like literally anything that seductress, con artist, thief, super shopper, like all of this crazy
stuff. You both had
stuff.
so let me just say this, and this is not me going, what about isn't the same, but just so people at home who don't know, you cited severe emotional distress, emotional abuse. You filed for divorce, you already know, in 2022, but there was a temporary restraining order. You described him as being volatile, abusive, unhinged, and I'm not glazing past those things because you know that I work with survivors of violence. So when I saw those headlines and having met you, it was heartbreaking to hear you escaped one life into another life that you claim was abusive. Your Silvio denies these allegations and has gone on to say they weren't true. But then there was this idea of misuse of company funds. The company was worth is worth how much?
So this is what is really incredible, and like, you have to believe in divine justice here. Think about it. 4 years ago, I was accused of stealing from the company and taking money from the company. Here we are 4 years later. Now the judge has accused Silvio of taking money from the company, Silvio of taking funds. We have 11 court orders, 30 provisions, and that's what happened in January.
Because this show is about endfolds, ending of something but finding this full beginning, and the fact that you are still smiling and say that you are fulfilled while in the throes of this, and also with allegedly millions of dollars that you cannot access right now, but you somehow see this as a new beginning, has me speechless. Coming up, more with Julia. How has all of this massive court back and forth turned into a new chapter in her life? More with Julia Haart after the break.
When we come back, Julia's revealing what happened after that massive court ruling for the first time. The story the headlines haven't told. Next.